Hey folks, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click that little red button below, and if you'd like to be notified of my posts first, click the little bell and it'll send you a notification as soon as I post. Continuing with the school shooting in Florida, it appears as if nobody had any inclination at all that this Nicholas gentleman was planning or disturbed or thinking of doing anything bad to anybody else. So I guess one of my biggest questions here is, like, do we need to start researching people before we start helping people, or do we need to start helping them more from afar versus helping them straight from our homes? I'm not sure how to go about this topic properly, or I guess more or less it's sort of my opinion, right? If you want to help somebody, it may be a smart move to do some digging and see if you can find out if they have any alias names, or they have like accounts under, you know, superhero names or something else that we can sort of research and find out. I don't know if there's any sites out there that you can look into people on. But I mean, I'm sure that there's a way to do a little bit of research on somebody before you just bring them straight away into your home. I mean, clearly we're finding out that Nicholas was very disturbed, killing animals, torturing them at a young age. Those are definite signs of somebody who's struggling mentally, dealing with something in a wrong way. So again, folks, if you see or hear anything like that from your friends or schoolmates, don't feel like you're going to be the rat, or you're going to be labeled, or you're going to be judged by others. Nobody necessarily needs to know that you even came forth with the information. You can go to somebody trustworthy, such as a higher up individual in the school, the principal, the vice principal, a counselor, and you can ask that your name not be mentioned, that you just want this to be known about, that there's something that you're concerned about, and you just want them to be aware of it, and that, I think, will be enough to set off a chain of events to look into what's happening a little bit closer with this individual. So let's be that voice out there, folks. There were some people that did say that they noticed some things about Nicholas, and I feel that if those people would have came forward, we may have been able to prevent this school shooting from happening. So if you do see anything in the future of people in school that are drawing things abnormal, they're talking about things not in the best way, they're angry, they are hurting animals, or they are hurting other people, I don't know, say something, because if we don't, this could just get worse, right? Again, folks, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click that little red button below. And if you'd like to be notified of my posts first, then click the little bell and it will send you a notification as soon as I post. Stay safe out there, folks. Thanks for watching.
With the family who took in Nicholas Cruz, the 19-year-old who police say killed 17 people in that horrific school shooting last week. Cruz had been living with the Sneeds since Thanksgiving after his adopted mother, Linda, died of pneumonia. The Sneeds' son was Cruz's friend. James, Kimberly, and their lawyer, Jim Lewis, are here with us now. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And James and Kimberly, I can't begin to imagine what it's like for your family. So how are you guys holding up?
It's a roller coaster of emotions. It's still tough. We're still hurting. We're still grieving.
Feeling for the families it's affected.
And you opened your home to Cruz for nearly 3 months.
Yes, sir.
And you tried to get him counseling. And what was he like in your home?
Nothing like they portray on television or in the media.
Everything everybody seems to know, we didn't know. We had rules, and he followed every rule to the T.
And before he moved into your home, how well did you know him?
I had met him a couple times before. He had spent the night at the house, and he was very polite. He seemed normal.
And Kimberly, can you take us back to that day? Was there anything unusual, out of the normal with his behavior before that day?
No. The only thing that was maybe different was that he didn't go to school. He usually drives him to school with him in the morning. He didn't go that particular morning, which sometimes happens. And
he said he didn't go to school on Valentine's Day.
Okay. But when did you realize what he had done?
After the SWAT team called me and asked where if I knew where my son Nicholas was. And I said, he's not my son, but I don't know where he's at. And at that point, I got in touch with my son, who was fleeing the scene at that point. And a description came out, and we put 2 and 2 together, me and my son, and we figured out what was happening.
And what was going through your mind when this happened? Did you both find out at the same time?
No, she was home sleeping. And at that point, I was panic-stricken for her safety, so I called the SWAT officer back to get the police back to my home to check on her.
And after all this happened, at one point, you did get a chance to see Nicholas. And what did you say to him? Did he speak back to you? Did he say anything back?
It was at the police station when they were going past us, and I went after him. I really wanted to strangle him more than anything, and everything that I wanted to say, I tried to reserve myself. I said, "Really, Nick? Really?" Yelled at him, and he mumbled something, but I didn't hear it. And he said he was sorry.
He said he was sorry,
but I didn't hear that. I was just furious and heartbroken. Absolutely, just heartbroken, devastated. I still can't process it, what he's done, because this wasn't the person that we knew. Mm-hmm. Not at all.
And he was friends with your son.
Yes, sir.
Right.
How's your son holding up?
He's angry. He's angry. He's betrayed. He's he's upset.
Furious.
He was at that school too, and he had friends at that school.
And he was at school that day, James. And I know Nicholas texted your son.
Yes, sir.
What were those texts like?
He told my son he was going to the movies, and he said he had something to tell him, and my son pressed him, "What is it? What is it?" He goes, "Nothing bad, bro." And he goes, and that was it. And then he said he was going to the movies, and then the last text my son got was, "Yo," and that was it. And that was about 2:18, I believe.
Do you have any idea why you think he texted your son?
No idea. No idea.
And Mr. Lewis, thank you for joining us as well. And what is the latest with the FBI investigation of this all?
Well, we're continuing to cooperate with them. These folks opened their house up to the FBI. They've opened their phones. They've cooperated in every way. And I just want people to know out there, these are good people who are trying to do the right thing. They took this young man and got him into another school. They got him a job. They brought him into their home and tried to show him love. The young man, even Nick, indicated that he was very happy in this home. And now, like they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
But are you worried about any legal repercussions with the family?
These folks aren't worried. They're here to tell what happened. If they get sued, if somebody tries to find fault with them. This young man, who they're most concerned about, their own son, he's part of this community too. These are his friends. He wants to go back to the school. They want to get back to their lives. But they want people to know, because Nick was at their house. They want to tell people everything that they know, including the FBI and all law enforcement. And again, they've cooperated from day one.
And there have been so many reports about Nicholas's alleged social media use and about guns and posting of guns, about killing small animals. Did you know anything about any of that?
No, sir. We knew he had one Instagram account that my son had, and I guess that would be the normal one. These other Instagram accounts that he had, we had no idea about. My son had no idea about. As far as the animal killings, he never did anything like that at our house. We have animals, and he loved our animals loved him.
And you were aware that he had weapons when he moved into your home?
Absolutely.
And where were they kept?
Before he moved in, one of the stipulations is he had to get a gun safe. And we got a gun safe on the way back from Lantana from moving his stuff to our house.
He didn't have free access to this gun
No,
safe?
no. I thought I had the only key to the gun safe.
And had he ever asked you beforehand to use a gun, to take it out of the safe?
He asked twice. Once I said yes because he wanted to clean it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know which gun he wanted to clean, but he said he wanted to clean a gun. I said okay. And another time he asked, and I told him no. It wasn't a good time.
And why did you tell him no?
I don't know what the situation was in the house. It wasn't a good time. I don't know, we were getting ready to leave or getting ready to sit down for dinner or something, but it wasn't a good time.
And judging from any past interaction with him, it seemed like you had no problem with him having a weapon.
No, not at all. He followed the rules.
He followed the rules.
Followed the rules.
They weren't allowed to be out if we weren't home or one of us wasn't home. And he knew that, and to our knowledge, he never had them out. And as far as the animals goes, I am very much an animal person. Anybody who knows me knows that. There's no way I'd let anybody in my house if I thought he was torturing animals at all. And if we'd known anything about the Instagram accounts, or I don't even know how to use Instagram, I'm a little old school, But if we had known anything about that, he wouldn't have even been in our home. That wouldn't even been an option.
And do you have a message for the families out there who've lost children or have lost loved ones in this tragedy?
Nothing I can say will heal them. We hurt for them deeply.
Very much so. We're devastated, and I can't imagine the pain that they must be feeling. And like he said, nothing that we can say is going to be any kind of help, but we're very sorry that, they had this experience and it never should have happened.
Yeah.
And again, if we had known any of the things that we're hearing, we're learning a lot about all of this just the same as everybody else, and we feel betrayed as well and just shocked. It's crushed everybody's world in our community. Yeah.
I'm sure it's very overwhelming for you. And do you plan on seeing Nicholas throughout all this?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you guys so much, Jane and Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lewis, thank you.
Thank you for having me.